Yo, what's up? Today we're learning Daf Nun Vav of Masechta Berachos in the final parak. Today we're continuing our discussion about dreams, lots of dream kind of stuff, so hope you're ready for that and excited. I've indicated to room service that I do not want to be disturbed. I have a feeling it won't help. They somehow know exactly when I'm recording Babylon Talmud, and that is when they choose to come. I even was doing it last night at 8:30 at night or something like that, and they knocked on the door. Somehow they just kind of know when I'm recording Babylon Talmud and they come by. But we'll see. Hopefully today will be different. We're starting on Nun Vav Amud Aleph all the way at the top. Ready or not, here we go. So the Caesar of Rome said to Rabbi Yehoshua, very interesting. So you guys seem to think that you're very, very smart. Emali, my chazina b'chalmai. So if you're so smart, then tell me what I'm going to see tonight in a dream, in my dreams. Amali chazis the meshachre lach parsai v'gavi bach v'ra'aye bach shiktze b'chutra dedaiva. Oh, so Rabbi Yeshua said, yeah, okay, I'll tell you what you're going to dream. You're going to dream that the Persians are going to capture you and they're going to enslave you, and you're going to be herding impure animals with a staff made of gold. Here Kule Yomu Luorta Chaza. So sure enough, he thought about what Rabbi Yehoshua said all day, and at night he saw that in a dream. Amalei Shvor Malka l'Shmuel. Now Shvor Malka had a similar incident with Shmuel, right? Shvor Malka was the king of Persia, and he said to Shmuel, Amrisu de Chachmisu Tuva. They say that you guys say that you're very, very smart. Emily my chazina b'chalma. So if you're so smart, tell me what I'm going to see in my dream tonight. Amalei chazis de asu ramai v'shavulach v'tachne bach kashyasa b'reichaya de daiva. So Shmuel told the king of Persia that the Romans are going to come and they're going to capture you, and you are going to be grinding date seeds in golden millstones. Okay. Here are kule yoma uleorsa chaza. So Shvor Malka, he considered what Shmuel told him all day, and sure enough, at night, that was what he dreamt. Now we're going to have a sort of the rest of this amud, and this is, by the way, a very large daf, so I'm going to try to keep things moving. Basically, the rest of this amud, until the top of the next amud, is going to discuss this dream interpreter, this sort of corrupt dream interpreter named Barhedya. So here we go. Barhedya mafshir chalme hava. So Barhedya was a dream interpreter. Mandiyav le agra mafshir le malyuso, mandilo yav le agra mafshir le griusa. So basically, had a simple formula. If you paid him, he interpreted your dreams positively. If you didn't pay him, then he interpreted your dreams negatively. Abaye v'Rava chazu chama. So Abaye and Rava both saw the same dream. Abaye yav le zuza, v'Rava lo yav le. So they did a little test. Abaye paid Barhedya, Rava did not pay Barhedya. And let's see how he interpreted their dreams. Amalei, they said to him, Akrina b'chaman, we saw in our dream, Shorcha tavuach le'enecha v'gomer. This is from the Tochacha in Parshas Kisavo. It says that your ox will be slaughtered in front of you and you won't eat from it. So to Rava who did not pay him, Amalei pasid iskech. He said your business is going to go downhill. V'lo ahanilach lemechal mi'utzva delibach. And you won't, no food will taste good to you because you're always going to be so sad. And he said to Abaye, who paid him, he said, your business is going to be extremely successful and you will not be able to eat because you're just going to be so happy you'll have no appetite. Amrei le, Rava and Abaye said to Barhedya, Akrinon, we saw in our dream, Ban muvanus tolid, also from the Tochacha, it says that you're going to have sons and daughters, they won't beat you because they will be taken into captivity. The Rava Amalei Kvishu say, so to Rava he translated it literally, that his children are going to be taken captive. To Abaye he said, oh, you're going to have plenty of children, plenty of sons, plenty of daughters. But what can you do? Your daughters are going to be fortunate enough to get married, but they're going to get married to foreigners. And it'll be in your eyes as if they were taken captive, right? Almost like good problems to have is the point that the Gemara is making, right? You're going to have lots of children, they're all going to get married, but they're going to get married to foreigners, and it'll be as if they've been taken captive. I don't know if that's because these people are going to take them back home with them to where they're from, or it's just because Keilu, an outsider is married to your daughter. It's like somebody that you're not familiar with, has taken your daughter, but all in good light. Akaryan, and then they continue and they said, we saw the pasuk of Banecho v'nosecha nesun la'am acher, that your sons and your daughters will be given to a different nation. So Labaye Amalei, so to Abaye, he said to him, Bincha Benach uvnasach nefishin. So Abaye says, you're going to have a lot of sons and daughters. At amad lekrevach vi amad lekreva. You're going to want her to marry your relatives, and your wife is going to want to marry her, want your children to marry her relatives. Ve'ach valach, and she's going to win the argument. She's going to win the discussion. V'yavas lahon lekreva, and you are going to give. And sure enough, your children are going to be married to her relatives. That it'll be as if it's like a different nation, because you wanted it to be your relatives, and in the end, it went into your children will be married to her relatives. But again, good problems to have. The Rava Amalei Devisu Shriva, as opposed to Rava, to whom he said, your wife is going to die, Basu Banea Uvnosea, and the sons and daughters that you had with her are going to go Lide Itzachrise to another mother, i.e. they're going to have to now go to a stepmother. What does it mean that your sons and daughters are going to be given to a different nation? This is a reference to the wife of the father, i.e. a stepmother. Rav and Abai said that we saw in our dream. Right, so Pasuk in Koheles, it says, go and eat in happiness your bread. So Tabaye, he said, your business is going to be very successful, and you're going to be eating and drinking and reading your psukim out of joy. L'Rava Amalei Pasid Iskech, and to Rava he said, your business will go south. Tavachta v'lo achalta, you're going to slaughter yet not eat. V'shasis v'karis l'fakuche pachdach, and you're going to drink and you're going to read verses of the Bible just in order to, kind of help you feel better. But things are going to be not so good. Akrinon zerav totzi asada. So if we look at the pasuk, this is a pasuk also from Parshas Kisavo. It says zerav totzi asada u'ma tesov ki achslenu arba. You're going to take out many seeds to your field, but you will not gather them because the locusts are going to come and eat them before you can harvest them. So they said akrinon zerav totzi asada. So they said that in our dream we saw the pasuk of you're going to take out a lot of seeds to your field. So So for Abaye, he interpreted him from the beginning of the pasuk, which is Zer Rav Totzi Asada. You're going to bring out lots of seeds to your field. That's a good thing, right? But for Rava, he interpreted him from the end of the pasuk, which is Uma Tesov Ki Achslenu Arba. But you're only going to gather in very few of those seeds, because the locusts are going to eat them. This is also a pasuk from over there, and it says you're going to have olives in all of your borders. But then the pasuk then concludes, however, you are going to be unable to actually, benefit from anointing that oil, from rubbing it into your skin, because they're all going to fall off the tree before you harvest them. So back in the Gemara, Akrinan zeisim yu l'chabchog v'lecha v'gomer. So they had the pasuk of you will have olives in all of your borders. Labai amalei mireshe l'Rav amalei misefe. And once again, Barhedya interpreted for Abai from the beginning of the pasuk, which is you're going to have lots of olives, and for Rava he interpreted from the end of the pasuk, which is but you won't be able to use any of them because they're going to fall down before you harvest them. Akrinan v'ro cholam ha'aretz v'gomer. Right, it's the pasuk that we had earlier in the Masechta in the context of Tefillin, right? That all of the nations of the land will see that the name of God is called upon you and they will fear you. So Labai Amalei Nafak Lach Shma Deresh Mesifta Havis Himascha Nafad Ba'alma. So according to Abai, he said, yeah, exactly. They're going to fear you because everyone's going to hear that you're the Rosh Hashiva, and because you're the Rosh Hashiva, they're all going to fear you. The Rava Amalei Beidaina Demalka Itbar. Turavi said, yeah, basically robbers are going to break into the treasury of the king, Umitpasat Beganve, and you're going to be arrested because you are going to be suspected of being the thief. Vidani Kule Alma Kavachomer Minach, and everyone is going to make a Kavachomer about your predicament, to say, wow, if it can happen to Rava, it can happen to anybody, right? Somebody as chashuv and as great as Rava, that the king will simply just be able to come in and accuse him of being a thief, then surely it can happen to anybody. And that's what it means, that everybody will be scared. Everyone will be fearful from you, because it can make a kavachomer from your predicament. So the machar, and sure enough, the next day, itbar beidaina de malka v'asu v'tafsile the Rava. Sure enough, the next day, thieves broke into the treasury of the king, and the officers of the king came and arrested Rava. Amrle, they said to Barhedja, Chazan chasa al pumdane. We saw romaine lettuce on top of barrels. Labai Amrle, if iskech kachasa. Abai says that your business will spread out like the leaves of a romaine lettuce. Rava Amar Marich iskech kichasa. Rava says that, so to Rava, Barhedja said that your business is going to be bitter like romaine lettuce, which of course we use for maror. Amrle, they said to Barhedja, Chazan bisra al pumdane. We saw meat on top of barrels. Labai Amrle, basim chamrach basu kuli ama lemizban bisram v'chamr minach. So Tabai said, your wine will be very sweet, and everyone is going to come to buy both meat and wine from you. The Rava Amar, Barhedja, however, said to Rava, Amarle, takif chamrach, your wine will become vinegar, and people are just going to be basically buying meat so that they can, eat the wine by way of the meat, but it's really not going to be very useful. Amrle, chazon chavisa detali b'dikla. They said to Barhedja, we saw a barrel that was hanging from a palm tree. Labai Amarle, madle iskach gedikla. So to Abai, Barhedja said, your business is going to rise up like a palm tree. L'Rava Amarle, chale iskach ketamre. To Rava, he said, your business are going to be like sweet dates of the palm, that basically they're just very cheap and sell for very little. Amile chazan romana rumna dekadche apumdane. They said that we saw a pomegranate on top of barrels of wine, on top of barrels. So the Abai Amarle Oshik iskach karumna. So Tabai Barhedja said, your business is going to be very expensive, like pomegranates. L'Rava Amarle Ka'ave iskach karumna. To Rava he said, your business is going to be sour, like sour pomegranates. Amarle chazon chavisa denafal levira. They said to Barhedja that we saw a barrel that fell into a pit. Labai Amar matbai iskach keto Amar nafal pita bevira velo ishtikach. Right? Rava said, so to Abaye, Barhedja said, your products are going to be flying off the shelves, and it'll be like a bread that falls into a pit that everyone's looking for it and they can't find it. So your products also, everyone's going to be trying to go to every single store to try to find them, and they won't be able to find them because they're so completely sold out. The Rava Amarle posed iskech v'shadis le levira. To Rava, he basically just said, yeah, your business is going to go south and basically fall in a pit. Amarle chazinan bar chamra dekoi ha'istan v'noer. So they said to him that we saw the child of a donkey that was right next to our heads, and it was, hee-hawing. So the Abaye Amar le Malka Havis Vikoi Amora Allah. So to Abaye he said that you are going to be king, meaning you are going to be the Rosh Yeshiva, and there's going to be an interpreter standing right next to you in order to say over your shiurim to all the people. The Rava Amar le Peter Chamor Goyt Mitfilach. He said to Rava that the words Peter Chamor in your tefillin are actually missing from your tefillin. Rava says, what are you talking about? I looked at the parshas of my tefillin, and it does in fact say Peter Chamor. So what are you talking about? Vav de Peter Chamor, Vade Goyt Mitfilach. He says, yeah, but the Vav from Peter Chamor is certainly erased from your tefillin. The Sof also Rava l'chude legabe. So in the end, Rava, who sort of got the negative interpretations, I think so, he went back to Barhedja by himself. Amalei Chazai Dasha Biryasa Dinafal, and he still didn't pay the guy. And he says, look, I saw that the wall of my house is going to fall down. Amalei Ishtacha Shichva. He says, yeah, your wife is going to die. Amalei Chazai Kache Vishine Dinasar. He says, I saw that my front and back teeth are going to fall out. This is all stuff that he saw in a dream. Amalei Bincha Uvnasach Bnach Uvnasach Shchavan. He says, yeah, your sons and daughters are going to die. Amalei Chazai Tarte Yone Defarchan. He says, I saw in my dream two doves that were flying away. Amle trei nashe migarashas. He says you're going to divorce 2 wives. Amle chazai trei gargalide delifta. He says I saw 2 heads of turnips. Amle train kulfe balas. He says you're going to get knocked down by 2 clubs, which kind of look like the bent over heads of turnips. So Rava then, after his meeting with Barhedya, he went to the Beis HaMedrash and he was there learning all day. And when he was in the Beis HaMedrash, he saw 2 blind men who were fighting with each other. So Rava went to break up the fight. And they beat Rava with a club twice, just like Barhedya predicted. They then lifted up the club to give him a clap a 3rd time. Amar mistaye train chazai. He says, no, 2's enough. All I saw in my dream was 2 turnips. Therefore, don't hit me a 3rd time. That's not part of the dream. Okay. Reminds me of that movie, Big Fish. I like that movie. What was that guy's name? The guy who was the director. Now I'm already forgetting. Tim Burton, I think. But anyways, yeah, this guy, he saw when he was a little kid how he was going to die. So his whole life he goes on interesting journeys, and whenever things get dangerous, he says, no, that's not how I'm going to die. So he's able to go weiter. Anyways. Nesof asa Rava v'yoiv le agra. So in the end, Rava, said, all right, this thing isn't working out for me, and he paid the guy. So Amalei chazoi ashisa denafal, and then he says, I saw that a wall of my house fell down. Oh yeah, you bought real estate that's going to be extremely prosperous. It's going to be without borders. He said, I saw in my dream that the house of Abai fell down and the dust covered me. He says, look, eventually Abai is going to die and his academy is going to go over to you. Right? He said, I saw that my own house fell down and everyone came to take the bricks. He said, yeah, because your teachings are going to spread far and wide. He said, I saw that my head was split in half and my brains were leaking out. He says, oh yeah, just some feathers from your pillow are going to come out. He said, I was reading Hallel. It's called Halal Mitzvah because we say it at the Seder as opposed to Halal Agadol, which is like what we say in Pesukei de Zimra, like Hodel Hashem Kitov Kilam Chazdo. All those Nos Nechem Chobasa Kilam Chazdo, right, that one. Bechama, fine. So Amalei Nisa Mesach Shelach, he says, yeah, miracles are going to happen too. Okay. Now, Avaka Azle, Azil Bahade Ba'arava. Now, Rava and Barhedya were traveling together on a boat. So Barhedya said, wow, this is probably silly of me. I really shouldn't be going on a boat with somebody who miracles are going to happen for him, because maybe the miracle that's going to happen is that the ship is going to sink and somehow he is going to be saved and everyone else is going to die, including me. So Bahadidika Salik Nafal Sifra Mine. And as Barhedya was going onto the boat, a book fell from him. Ashkhe Rava, and Rava found the book. And guess what he saw was written in the book? All dreams just go after the interpretation. Omar, to which Rava got extremely upset after having received all of these terrible interpretations, and he said to Barhedya, Omar Rasha, he says, you're a Rasha, but Didach Kaima. The interpretations of the dreams are completely subjective and up to you. And look at all this pain you have caused me. I forgive you for everything except for the daughter of Rav Chisda. Rava was married to the daughter of Rav Chisda. She said, except for the fact that you predicted that my wife was going to die. And I don't know if she actually did in fact die. Maybe she did. I don't know. But he said, I forgive you for everything except for the fact that you said that my wife was going to die. Yeh Raiva may be the will, the limsar ahu gavra, that you should be given over, lidem the malchusa de lamrachmu ale, right? That may be the will that you get captured, that you get given over to a government that will have no mercy on you. Amar, my avid. So then Barhedya said, I'm in pretty big trouble right now. What should I do? Gemiri dekilas chacham afilu b'chinam hi ba'a, right? That a curse of a chacham, even if it was for no reason, it'll come true. Rava bedina kalayit, and certainly this curse of Rava that he was in the right to curse me with. So Amr Ekum ve'agli. So he says, I will go and I will exile myself. Damar galus mechaperes avon, because exile atones for sin. Kam gali levei Romai. So he went and he exiled himself to Rome. Also Yosef apischa deresh turzina de malka. So he went and he sat next to the door of the officer in charge of the clothing of the king. Reish turzana chaza chalma, and this officer saw a dream. Amar le chazai chalma de ayel machta be'etzba'asi, and this officer of the garments of the king said, I saw a dream in which a needle was going through my fingers. Amar le havli zuza. So of course, Barhedja, he was able to go to a new place, but he's still the same old Barhedja. He says, look, in order to get an interpretation, I need a zuz. And the officer was not interested. He didn't give him a zuz. So sure enough, Barhedja didn't tell him anything. The officer then said, I saw in my dream that a worm fell on two of my fingers. Barhedja said, I need a zuz. The officer didn't give him, and Barhedja didn't tell him anything. And then, sure enough, the next day, I guess, the officer said, I dreamt that a worm was covering my entire hand. And then, at which point, Barhedja said, Nafal tichla b'chulu shirai. He said, well, guess what? A worm has infested all of the clothing of the king. Sham'e be'malka v'asur l'reish turzina kakat lele. Right? So the king heard that basically all of his clothing has been covered in worms and eaten by worms, I guess. And he took this officer and was going to execute him. Amalei ana amai. And at which point this officer said, why are you killing me? You got the wrong guy. Aisu lahai dehavayada v'lo amar. You should really be killing this Barhedja fellow who knew that this was happening, that these worms were eating your clothing, and he didn't say anything. Aisu levarhedja, they brought in Barhedja. Amalei amatuzuza didach charvu shirai demalka. He says, because of your greed and because of your one zuz that you were insistent upon receiving, all the clothing of the king have been destroyed. Kafisu train arze b'chavla. So they came out. They basically came up with a very unique method of executing Barhedja. Kafisu train arze b'chavla. They basically tied together two cedar trees with rope. Asur chad kari l'chad arza, v'chad karze l'chad ara. Then they tied one of Barhedja's legs to one cedar, and then the other of his legs to the other cedar. V'shar l'chavla. At which point they then cut the rope, and basically the two trees flung back to their straightness, with Barhedja in the middle, sliced in two. Ad itzlik reshe, until Barhedja's head split in half. Also kochad v'chad v'kam aduchte. Each cedar tree went back to its normal position. V'itzlik v'nafal b'train, with Barhedja, half of him on one cedar tree and the other half on the other cedar tree, and presumably he did not survive this incident. Shaul ben Dama ben Achosel Rabbi Yishmael. So Ben Dama, the nephew of Rabbi Yishmael, asked Rabbi Yishmael, he said, I saw that both of my cheeks fell, in my dream I saw that both of my cheeks fell out. He said, 2 legions of Roman soldiers were thinking to harm you, but don't worry, they died. And that's what the cheeks are like. They were talking about harming you, but they didn't. They died. Bar Kapara said to Rebbe, he said that my nose fell off in my dream. He said, yeah, anger was removed from you. He said, I saw both of my hands were cut off. You won't have to use your hands to work. You will make a lot of money other ways, and you won't have to work. He says, I saw that both of my legs were cut off in my dream. He says, yeah, that's because you're not going to have to walk anywhere. You're going to have a fancy horse to take you around. I saw that they were saying to me that you're going to die in Nisan, and you're not going to make it. You're going to die in Adar, and you're not going to make it to the next month, which is Nisan. Amar le be'adrusa misas v'lo asis lidei nisayon. So Rebbe said to Bar Kapara, says it means that you're going to die with honor and you won't have any tests, like your Yetzer Hara won't be tested. So a certain Sadducee said to Rabbi Shmuel, Ra'isi shani mashke shemen lezesim. So he said, in my dream I saw that I was watering olive trees with olive oil. Amar le ba'al imo. So Rabbi Shmuel says, yeah, basically you slept with your mother, right? The oil of olives representing the product of an olive, and using that same product to then water the olive, to go back and water the source of the olive oil. So here also he slept with his mother. Said, I saw that they grabbed a star out of the sky for me. He says, yeah, you kidnapped a Jew, because the Jews are compared to stars. He said, and then I saw that I swallowed the star. He says, yeah, you sold that Jew, and you already spent the money that you received in selling him. He said, I saw my eyes kissing each other. He says, yeah, you slept with your sister. He says, I saw in my dream that I was kissing the moon. You must have slept with a married Jew, a married Jewish woman. He says, I saw that I was walking in the shade of a hadass tree. He says, you slept with an engaged girl, because they used to, at the party for engagements, they would make some kind of canopy made out of hadass branches. Okay. He said, I saw that the shade was above me and the tree was below me. He says, yeah, when you were sleeping with her, she was on top and you were on the bottom. He said, I saw that ravens were circling my bed. He says, yeah, your wife has been sleeping around with many men. He says, and I saw doves are flying around my bed. He says, Rabbi Shmuel says to him, it was taka mutual. Your wife was sleeping with other men, and you were sleeping with lots of women. He said, I saw in my dream that I was holding two doves and they were flying away. He says, yeah, you married two women and let them go without giving them a get. He said, I saw in my dream that I was peeling eggs. So Rabbi Shmuel says, yeah, that means that you've been finding dead people and stripping them of their possessions. And the Tzadduki said, you're spot on about all of them. I've basically been sleeping around with everybody, but I haven't been taking things from dead people. And sure enough, while this Tzadduki and Rabbi Shmuel were talking, somebody came by and said, oh, wait, what's that garment you're wearing? That belonged to so-and-so who died, and you took it. So I guess he even did steal, take things from dead people. The Tzadduki then continued to say to Rabbi Shmuel that they told him in his dream that his father left for him real estate in a place called Kapodkaya. So Rabbi Shmuel said to this Tzadduki, do you own real estate in Kapodkaya? He said, no. He said, has your father ever visited Kapodkaya? He says, no. Kappa kshura. So if so, it's a metaphor. And kappa means a beam. Deka is asara. Deka means 10. So zil chazi kappa diresh asara shimilei azuze. Go and check the 10th beam of your house, and you will find that it is filled with money. Azal ashkach shimilei azuze. And this Tzadduki went, and sure enough, the 10th beam of his house was in fact filled with money. Reb Chanina says that anybody who sees a well in his dream, he will see peace. As it says that the servants of Yitzchak dug in the valley, and they found there a be'er, a well of Mayim Chaim. And then the Goz Vitzunim points out that then a few psukim later, it then talks about how they finally were able to get a well that they didn't fight about, and they made shalom, they made peace. Okay, fine. Rabbi Nosson Omer Matzah Torah. Rabbi Nosson says that if you find a well, that if you see a well in your dream, that means that you have found Torah. Shnei as the pasuk says, Ki motzi'i matzah chaim. Somebody who finds me, who finds Torah, has found life. And it says over here, Ber Ma'im Chaim, a well of water of life. So we see the Torah is referenced to Chaim, which is the well. But also, I feel like usually we use the pasuk of Hay Kol Tzamei L'chu L'mayim, right? Anybody who's thirsty should come to water, which is Torah. But I guess that there's more than one pasuk that refers to water as Torah. Rav Amar Chaimam, Rava just means, it means life, right? If you find a well in your dream, it means that you will have life. Amar Reb Chanan, Zok Dehelik Reb Chanan, Shalosh Shlam Hussein. There are three things that are peace. Nahar, Tzipor, Ukdera. A river, a bird, and a pot. Nahar, Tichsiv, Hineni Nota Elea Kanar Shalom. Right? God says that I will bring to it peace like a raging river, i.e. very, 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 very quickly, like a river that is flowing very swiftly. Tzipor, is peace. Tichsiv, Katziporim Afos Ken Yagin Hashem Tzvakos V'Gomer. Like fagelas that are flying, so will God protect Israel. Kedera, how do we know that a pot is connected to peace? Tichsiv, Hashem Tishbos Shalom Lanu. That God will so lishpot shofeh in this case. So shofeh is comes up a lot with pots. Shofeh sakter, that you set a pot on its place on the stove. But also tishpos over here means to organize, right? So God will organize for us peace. So a pot, which is your shofeh sakdera, that shofeh lashon is also by peace. So pots are also peace. Okay, very fancy. Amar Reb Chanina, uvikder she'ein ba basar shaninu. Reb Chanina says that that's specifically a pot that doesn't have meat in it, because there is the word ufarsu is also what's this pasuk vav? Well, this metaphor of a pot was also used in a negative nevuah, talking about how basically the meat of tzaddikim and everybody are going to be consumed by their enemies, and as if they're put into a pot and cooked. So therefore, if there's meat in the pot, so then that's bad, because it's a reference the meat of the tzaddikim that's going to be cooked in a pot. Right? So it says ufarsu kasher basir uchabasu b'soch kalachas, and they're going to put the meat in a pot, and other meat that is in a kalachas. Fine. Well, I think, or maybe Farsu over there meant they're going to break the bones open to get the marrow, something like that. So if a person sees a nahar, a river in a dream, yashkim, he should wake up, v'yomayin, he should say, shalom, that, you should quote the pasuk of that God is going to bring to the Yidden peace like a nahar, like a river, kodem sheikdemenu pasuk acher, before a different pasuk comes to him, which is kiyavu kanar tsar, that an evildoer, enemy will come swift like a river. Somebody who sees a fegela in a dream, so yashkim v'yomar, you should wake up and you should say katziporim afos kain yagin v'gomer, like flying birds, so will God protect Israel. Kodem sheikdemenu pasuk acher, for a different pasuk comes katzipor nodedes min kina v'gomer. That's a pasuk from Mishlei. It says like a bird that is far away from it, that is straight away from its nest, so is a person who is straight away from his place, who's without a place. Okay, fine. Somebody who sees a pot in a dream, Yashkim V'yomar, you should say, Hashem Tishvos Shalom Lanu, that God should organize for us peace. Kodim Shemaknenu Pasuk Acher, before a different pasuk about a pot, which is Shvos Hasir Shvos, that there's a pasuk about the Puranos of the Yidden, that using the metaphor from earlier about how God is going to cook the meat of tzaddikim in these pots. So there's another nevuah that says that Hashem is going to be preparing the pot, and that is of course a negative use of a pot. Somebody who sees grapes in a dream, Yashkim v'yomer ka'anovim bamidbar, he should wake up and he should say like grapes in the desert. Right? That's a pasuk that's describing how God was so in love with the Yidden, just like a person is enthralled with grapes that he finds when he's stuck in the desert. For a different pasuk comes to him, Anavemu in Verosh. That's a pasuk from Ha'azinu, where it says that their grapes are terrible grapes. Harua harba chalam, somebody who sees a mountain in a dream, Yashkim v'yomar, he should say, Manavu ala harim ragli mevaser, right? How beautiful on the mountain are the legs of the announcer of the redemption. Kolim shaktimenu pasuk acher, before there's a different pasuk about mountains, which is ala harim esa b'chi vonei, that on the mountains I will lift up a cry of a cry and a anguish, I guess. Harua shofar b'chalam, somebody who sees a shofar, a ram's horn in a dream, Yashkim v'yomar v'haya b'yamu yitaka b'shofar gadol, he should say the pasuk of, and it will be on that day, it will be blown on a very large shofar, and that's talking about the Geula, of course. Kolim shaktimenu pasuk acher, before a different pasuk comes to him, which is tiku shofar b'giv'ah, right? That's talking about when the enemies of the Yidden are going to attack them, and they will blow a shofar in Giv'ah to warn everybody, on the mountain to warn everybody. Fine. Hareh kelev b'cholim, somebody who sees a hunt in a dream. So Yashkim v'yomar should say the pasuk v'chol b'nei Yisrael lo yecharatz kelev l'shono, that for all the Yidden, not even one dog barked. Kolim shaktimenu pasuk acher, before there's a different pasuk of v'aklavim azei nefesh, that the dogs are very brazen. Hareh ari b'chalim, somebody who sees a lion in a dream. Yashkim v'yomar should say ari yeshayig milo yira, right? When a lion roars, who will not fear? Right? That's talking about fearing God and nevuah. Before there's a different pasuk about a lion, which is ala ari misubcho, right? That the lion has come from its bushes, which is a reference to Nebuchadnezzar. Hara tiglachas b'chalom, somebody who sees a haircut in his dream. Yashkim v'yomar, you should say vayigalach vayachlef simlosov. The pasuk which is by Yosef that says that Yosef got a haircut and he changed his clothes and then went to Paro. That was, of course, at the very beginning of when he went from being a slave to when he stood in front of Paro and interpreted his dreams and became one of the most powerful men in the world. This is before we have a different pasuk about haircuts. Im gulachti v'samimeni kochi. Right? Shimshon, he tells Delilah that if I get a haircut, I will lose all of my strength. Somebody who sees a well in his dream, Yashkim v'yomar be'er ma'im chaim, you should wake up early and you should quote that pasuk that we referenced earlier, which is a well of water of life. For there's a different pasuk of ki akir bayer memel, that like a well that basically releases its waters, that was like a reference to like the Yidden doing all sorts of sins. Somebody who sees a reed in a dream, Yashkim v'yomar, should say Kane ratzutz lo yishaver. Did I read that correctly? No, Kane ratzutz lo yishbor. That a reed that is weak will not break. Kolim shaktimenu pasuk acher. Before there's a different pasuk about a reed, which is hine batachta li lach al mishenes hakane aratzutz. It's talking about how they relied on, I believe it was Egypt, right? And they were saying, you are relying on a reed that is very weak and will break. Tana Rabbanan, the rabbis taught, Kana b'chalam yitzapeh l'chochma. If a person sees a reed in a dream, he should expect wisdom. Shneimar, Kana. What does the pasuk say? Pasuk chaf hey. It says, Reishis chachma kinei chachma. That at the beginning of chachma you should acquire chachma. And he actually, the Mitzudas David explained that to refer to have like something kavua, learning every day, which is exactly what Daf Yomi is, right? It's having a set learning every single day, which is awesome. We're learning this to understand kane chokhmah, that if you have a reed in a dream, so then it's a reference to chokhmah. Kanim, if you have multiple reeds, so nitzap lebina, then you should expect understanding. Shneimar uvuchol kinyancha kinevina, and that with all of your acquisitions you should acquire bina. But kinyancha is a reference to multiple kanim, multiple reeds. Reb Zera says, Reb Zera, kara, kira, kanya, kulum al squash, hearts of palm, wax, and reeds are all good for dreams. Okay, very good. Tanya in Marin Delu and Elul Mishu Yari Shemaim Chokocho. We learn in the Brisa that we only show squash to somebody who fears God with all of his strength. Hara Shor B'Chalom Yashkim B'Yomar B'Chor Sharo Haderlo. Somebody who sees an ox in his dream, he should wake up early and he should say that there's a pasuk by Yosef when Yaakov is giving. No, this is in the Berachos of Moshe in Sefer Devarim. In the last parsha of V'zos HaBracha, he says, "B'chor shoro haderlo," that the firstborn of his ox, it is splendor, there is splendor to him. Kodim shak menu pasuk acher. Before there's a different pasuk about a shor, which is ki yigach shor es ish, if an ox will to gore a person. Taner Rabbanan, the rabbis taught chamisha devarim nemu b'shor. There are 5 things said about seeing an ox in a dream. Ha'ochel mibsaro, somebody who's consuming the flesh of an ox. Misasher, he's going to be wealthy. Nagcho, if the ox gored him, haven lebanim shem nagchim b'Torah. Oh, so you can have children that are, I guess, going to gore with Torah. I guess that's a positive thing. Nashchu nishacho, if the ox bit him, yisurin b'ayim alav. That's an indication that afflictions will come to him. Ba'ato, if the ox kicked him, derech rechoka nizdamnalo, that means he's going to go far away. Rachvo ola legdula, if he is riding the ox, that means that he will rise to greatness. V'atani rachvo meis. One second, we have a verse that says if he rides the ox, he will die. Depends. If he's riding the ox, then I guess he's going to rise in greatness. If the ox is riding him, then he will die. Somebody who sees a donkey in a dream, Yeshua, he should expect salvation. Shnamar, as it says about Mashiach, your king will come to you. Tzaddik, he is a tzaddik, Vinosha, and he has been saved from all sorts of wars. Ani v'rochiv al chamor, he is a poor person riding, he will look like a poor person riding on a donkey. Harachasul b'chalim, somebody who sees a cat in a dream. Pasud dikaru leishunra nasis lo shira na'eh, in a place where they call a cat a shunra, then he will have a beautiful song. Shinra, if they call the cat a shinra, naset lo shinoi ra, there's going to be a bad change in his life. Hara anovim b'chalim, somebody who sees grapes in a dream. Livanos, bein bismanan, bein shelo bismanan, yafos. If they are white grapes, then whether it's the season for grapes, whether it's not the season for grapes, it is a good sign. Shchoros, if it's black grapes, so bismanan yafos, shelo bismanan ros. If it's, I guess, during the grape season, so then it's a good sign. If it's not during the grape season, then it's a bad sign. Sus lavan b'chalam, if somebody sees a white horse in a dream, bein benachas, bein beriduf yafelo. Whether the horse is running, whether the horse is just kind of chilling, it's a good sign. Adam benachas yafe beriduf kasha. If he sees a red horse, well then if it is just kind of chilling, then it's a good sign. But if it's running, then it's a bad sign. Yishmael b'chalam, somebody who sees Yishmael in his dream, tfilas nishmas. Well, that means that his prayer is going to be listened, right? Yishma kel, right? That God will listen to his prayer. V'davka Yishmael ben Avram. Now this is specifically if he sees Yishmael, the son of Avram, in his dream, then that's an indication that God will listen to his prayers. But just a regular, Arab-looking person, so then then that's not a good sign. Somebody who sees a camel in his dream, means that he's been taxed, he's been basically decreed that he's going to die. But he was saved from it. So B'Chanina says, where do we have a pasuk that teaches this? It says by Yaakov Avinu when he goes down to Egypt to Yosef, it says Vanochi ered imcha Mitzrayma, I'm going to go with you to Mitzrayim. Vanochi alcha gam alo. Gam alo is like gamal, and I will take you out from Mitzrayim. I.e., you will go down to Mitzrayim, but I will take you out of Mitzrayim. So here also the gamal is a reference to that he was going to die, but he was saved from it. Rav Nachman bar Yitzchak Amar Mehacha Gam Hashem E'evir Chatoscha Losamos. Rav Nachman Yitzchak says from this pasuk that God has revealed. This is by David HaMelech after the whole thing with Uriah Hitti and Bathsheba, and he was going to get punished. Nasan HaNavi says that God has removed your sin from you, and you will not die. And I guess Gam Hashem is like Gamal Keilu. Haroet Pinchas b'chalam. Somebody who sees Pinchas in a dream, Pelanaiselo, means that wonders are going to happen to. Just like the Gemara in Sanhedrin describes wonders happen to Pinchas with Cosby and Zimri. Okay. How about pil b'chalam? Somebody who sees a elephant in a dream, plaus nasalo, and wonders are going to be done for him. Pilim, if he sees multiple elephants, pile plaus nasalo. So many great wondrous things are going to happen to him. But don't we have a brisa called mine chayos yafin l'chalam chutz min apilum min akof? But one second, don't we learn a brisa that all animals in dreams are good, the exceptions being an elephant and a monkey? So lokasha, it's no problem. If the elephant has a saddle on it, so then it's a good sign. If it doesn't have a saddle on it, then it's a bad sign. And with that, we've completed page Nun Vav. Wow, that was a big page, packed with all sorts of dreamy things. I'm not sure what specific thing I can kind of pull pull out of here that we learned, other than the fact that, well, there's an interesting thing about Bar Hedya and how his interpretations, based on however he wanted to interpret them, they had real-world implications. Then all sorts of different illusions of what are good things to dream about and bad things to have in your dreams. Anyways, I hope you guys have the best day of your whole lives today. Bye!